Sailor Moon E, Act 1, A New Look. 2 years have passed since Sailor Moon and the Sailor Scouts battled Sailor Galactica, and a calm has come over the Earth. Serena and the others moved on with their lives as normal, everyday girls. Serena is now a senior in high school along with Mina, Lita, and Ray. Amy graduated early and was now a freshman at Tokyo University. Lita has her own YouTube show called Food and Flowers. Ray is head of the Cherry Hill Temple, now as her grandpa travels the world on his single cruise circuit. Mina has become a black-haired pop star singer by the name of Minako. Don't worry, the black hair is just a wig. Life is good for our 5 girls. After the events that had happened, Darian Shields, aka Tuxedo Masks, left Harvard and returns to study medicine at Tokyo University. His relationship with Serena grows stronger day by day, and you rarely find one without the other. Yes, life is good for our heroes, but that is all about to change. Deep in the jungles of South Mexico lies a Aztec temple. They are the ruins of Lapatis, the god titan of death, and deep in the heart of these ruins is a statue of a man. It shakes, and as it trembles harder and harder, cracks form. The cracks get deeper and deeper until the outer shell crumbles to the feet of a towering man.
You thought banishing me would work?
He says and walks out into the sunlight. He stood at least 6'3", with black hair silked back from his face. He had sea blue eyes. His clothes is tattered and worn.
Hear me now, world. I am Lapatis, and you will be mine.
Back in Tokyo, the girls start their day like normal. Lita, Ray, and Mina are outside Serena's house waiting for her.
What time is it?
Mina asks.
It's about 6:40.
Lita says, looking at her watch.
At this rate, we're gonna be late.
Ray says.
Here I am!
Serena says as she runs out of the house.
God, Meatball Head, thank you. Now that we're seniors in high school, you need to learn to be on time.
Ray says. Serena just sticks her tongue out at her as the girls walk on. As they make it to the park, Darian stands there. Let me guess. Buns was running late again, he says with a chuckle. Serena just gives him a pouty face.
Boo!
Amy shouts as she jumps out from behind Darian. The 4 girls hug her to the ground.
Amy!
They shout.
Girls, you act like you don't see me anymore. Get off!
Amy says, under the dog pile of girls. Everyone gets up to their feet and dusts off.
No, we do get to see you, but it's been so long since we all walked to school together.
Mina says.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There was a lot of orientation classes at college.
Amy explains. Yeah, that's true, Darian chimes in.
But now you're all done?
Lita asks. Amy nods and smiles.
If we stay here much longer, we're really gonna be late.
Ray says, tapping her foot. They all exchange looks and walk on with Serena holding onto Darian's arm. Later that day, they all meet up where they normally do, at the Crown Arcade Center. Andrew has long since graduated college and accepted a position in North America. It's now managed by a young man named Alex Waters. A fair-looking young man with long blonde hair and a ponytail with green eyes. He was almost as tall as Darian, and for some reason feels very familiar to Darian, although they had only met a few months before.
Whoa, you guys are here a lot,
Alex says as the group walk in.
What can we say? We're a bunch of gamers.
Lita says.
Is the blue-haired girl with you?
Alex asks.
Right here!
Serena says and pushes Amy into Alex. Alex blushes, as does Amy.
Hi,
he says. Amy just nods and looks away. Psst.
That was mean.
Ray whispers to Serena.
Yeah, but Dorkla's so cute.
Serena whispers back. After spending an hour at the arcade, everyone headed for their own home. Darian walks Serena home. You know, I think Alex has a crush on our Amy, Darian says.
You just got that, Momo?
Serena asks. What do you mean, Buns? Darian replies.
Min, you're so slow to see what's right in front of your face.
Serena giggles. Hey, what's that mean? He asks, but is not able to get an answer as they reach Serena's place. She kisses him on the cheek and runs inside. Darian walks home on his own, but something troubled him, and he couldn't put his finger on it. Once Darian is inside his apartment, he throws his backpack on the couch and walks into his room. On the nightstand sits a glass box with 4 shattered stones inside it. 1 green, 1 light blue, 1 gray, and the last one was red. These were the 4 stones of the Holy Knights of Heaven, Prince Endamien's sworn knights. Often in times of need, Darian would call on the knights for wisdom. In the battle with the Dark Kingdom, the 4 knights lost their lives, but their souls were protected within these stones. Darian places the box on the coffee table and sits down in his lazy boy chair. He closes his eyes and begins to concentrate on the 4 stones. A small glow starts to come from each one of the stones. Darian slowly opens his eyes, but to his shock, there was no one there. Zoisite, Jedi, Nephrite, and Kunzite, show yourself to me, he commanded. Still, nothing happened, and the 4 stones stopped glowing. Now that's strange. They have never not answered my need for their counsel. Darian sits there for a bit longer, looking puzzled at the box of stones. Finally, he gets up and heads for the shower. After Darian leaves the room, the shattered pieces of the stones reform, making them whole once more. Next to the box stands an older man with immaculate, maintained black hair with a long black mustache and beard. His eyes were as blue as the sea, and he was dressed in royal colors. The man looked towards the spot where Darian had sat with a look of love and fondness before vanishing. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
That was a tiger's roar, my dear Eric, and I believe that means that soon we will have a new episode of Tiger Tales on YouTube. If you like Power Rangers, Ben 10, Doctor Who, Pokemon, Walking Dead, Tiger Tales is a place for you on YouTube. Ty Tiger, my Parabatai, goes out and tells stories that he has written. They are amazing and they must be listened to, my friends. Trust me when I tell you, you will not be sorry.
So, you want me to go listen to Tiger Tales on YouTube, right?
That's correct, Eric. You and everybody else, go check out Tiger Tales on YouTube. Darian sleeps peacefully in his bed, but in his dreams he is in the castle of Elysium. He sits under an old oak tree when a man walks up to him. With silk black hair, a beard, and mustache, his blue eyes sparkle warmly.
There you are, son.
Oh, hello, Father, Endamian replies, looking up from the book he was reading.
King Koyos!
Kunzite yells, running up.
I know, Kunzite. I'm coming. Tell Queen Gaia that we will both be there soon.
Koyos orders. Kunzite bows and runs off. What is going on, Father? Endamian inquires.
It's time, son,
Koyos says. Time, Father? Endamian asks, but as the words left his mouth, the world goes topsy-turvy, and now Endamian is standing in the ruins of the Golden Kingdom. On the ground lies Sailor Moon, dead, along with all her scouts. No. Dear God, no! Endamian shouts, falling to his knees. Again, King Koyos walks up and lays a hand on Endamian's shoulders.
Son, this can be changed, but you must find them,
Koyos explains. With tears running down his face, Endamian looks up at his father and chokes out the words. Find who?
Your knights. You need their power to win this battle,
Koyos replies. They're dead, Father. They died in the battle with the Dark Kingdom, Endamian says.
No, son. Only their bodies died that day. Their human souls were reborn like you in Serenity. Find them, my son. reunite them with their power stones.
Koyos says, and the whole place goes dark. Darian jerks awake and sits up in his bed with a cold sweat running down his forehead. A dream? I have never dreamed of my father before. What did he mean? Their bodies? The next day, Darian could not get the dream out of his head. For some reason, he packed the 4 stones in his bag and met up with Serena and the girls at the Fruit Parlor Crown Cafe. Serena and Darian sat alone at a table while the other 4 girls shared a table behind them. Darian looked out the window at the city as Serena tries to talk to him about school and all the hard tests she is doing. Darian just nods ever so often. His mind was 1,000 miles away.
Hello? Earth to Momo. Anyone here?
Serena says, waving her hands in his face. This seems to break him out of his inattentiveness. What? Huh? Darian asks, looking over at her. Serena sits back and folds her arms.
You just don't care about me, do you?
What? No, it's not like that, Buns. I just got a lot on my mind, and I kind of just spaced out, he replies.
Don't do that dare, then Sierra won't have a thing.
Lita says, laughing out loud.
Yeah, Meatball Head is known for her spacing out powers.
Ray also laughs.
Darian, what's on your mind?
Amy asks softly. It's a dream I had. I just can't seem to shake it, Darian replies, turning to look at the girls.
Dreams can mean a lot. Just look at some that we have all had.
Mina remarks. Well, you see, it started in Elysium, Darian begins.
The Golden Kingdom?
Serena inquires. Darian nods and continues his story. I was there with my father, King Konos, and he walked up to me. He pauses and looks at the shocked looks on the girls' faces.
Your father, as in King of Earth?
Mina asks. Again, Darian just nods. Then it was in the ruins of my kingdom, and you all were dead. My father told me I needed to find my knights. Darian explains, then pauses again.
You don't mean the 4 kings of heaven?
Amy asks in a very somber voice. One and the same, Darian responds.
They're dead,
Ray says. I told my father this, and he told me no, their souls are now locked in the stones. Their human bodies were also reborn, and if I can get their stones to their bodies, they'll be re-empowered. Darian finished. The 5 girls sat there just looking at him. No one knew what to say. Darian pulls out the 4 stones out of his bag and lays them on the table. The pale green stone starts to glow.
Which stone is that?
Serena asks.
Zoisite.
Darian and Amy say in unison. Just then, screams can be heard from the arcade that is below the cafe. Quickly, the girls and Darian jump to their feet and run downstairs, only to be greeted by chaos, people screaming and running everywhere. In the middle of the chaos, the girls and Darian can see men made out of shadows, some kind of shadow men. They are attacking all the people. Girls, it's time to transform! Luda and Artemis say, running in. The 5 girls nod.
Darian, you're gonna love this. I learned something new. I can now change forms depending on what I call out.
Serena says with a smile.
Moon Cosmic Power Makeup!
Mercury Crystal Power Makeup!
Mars Crystal Power, made up!
Jupiter Crystal Power, makeup!
Venus Crystal Power! Makeup!
I am the pretty guardian in a sailor suit who fights for love and justice. Sailor Moon, in the name of the moon, I'll punish you.
Sailor Moon says. The Shadow Men pause for a minute, but then they spot Darian standing behind the Sailor Scouts and run at them. The 4 Sailor Scouts form a wall and were able to block the Shadow Men.
Sailor Moon, get Darren out of here. We've got this.
Sailor Jupiter says. Sailor Moon nods and grabs Darian's hand and runs out of the arcade.
Have you been teleported to the past? Or de-aged to look like a kid again? Or have you delivered a message to some strange woman who asks questions all the time? And are you stuck? Well, cool. TARDIS Taxis, the taxi service that don't get you where you want to go, but where you need to go. To book TARDIS taxis, simply call the number in last week's paper. Bookings are 6 months in advance. We cannot rearrange your booking, as it may rip a hole in the space-time continuum. Refunds are at the discretion of the Time Lords. Call TARDIS taxis, and we will get you home one day.
The two of them run outside and down one of the back alleys. Darien stops running and rips his hands out of Sailor Moon's. She spins around and looks at him, shocked.
Darien, what are you doing? We need to go.
No, I am not a weakling. I too have powers, Darien says and closes his eyes. He concentrates on his tuxedo mask form. He could feel the need to help his friends and to keep Sailor Moon safe. He opens his eyes to see a Sailor Moon looking at him, still very shocked. He looks down at his hands, and he could see he had not transformed. What's going on?
Have you lost the ability to become Tuxedo Mask?
Sailor Moon asks. Darien just keeps looking down at his hands as a warmth starts to burn inside of him, and he starts to glow a brilliant gold color. Sailor Moon shields her eyes.
What's going on, Momo?
She asks. Now the golden crystal was hovering right in front of Darien. A symbol forms on his forehead, a circle with a cross in it.
Take your true power, my son. Call out Golden Crystal Transformation,
says the voice of King Konos. Darien grabs the golden crystal and yells out. Golden Crystal Transformation! He is transformed into Tuxedo Mask. He could feel the power running through his veins. He did not look much different. His top hat was gone, and at his side now sat a longsword. The same longsword that he wore in his prince form.
Momo! What just happened?
Sailor Moon asks. I have new powers. Let's go, Sailor Moon. We need to help the Sailor Scouts, Tuxedo Mask says, spinning around as his cape kicks up from the wind, and they take off running back into the arcade. The battle had spilled out onto the streets. The Sailor Scouts were holding their own against the Shadowmen, but they just seemed to keep coming.
Sparkling wide pressure!
Sailor Jupiter shouts and blasts a few Shadowmen.
Burning Mandela!
Sailor Mars yells and burns up some Shadowmen.
Venus, love me chain.
Sailor Venus shouts and whips some of the Shadowmen.
Shine, Aqua Illusion.
Sailor Mercury yells and freezes a group of Shadowmen. The Shadowmen disappear and more reform.
We can't keep this up, girls,
Sailor Mercury adds.
We need Sailor Moon,
Sailor Mars says. The Shadowmen run at the Sailor Scouts and dogpile onto them, pinning them to the ground.
I can't move!
Sailor Jupiter screams.
Sailor Moon, where are you?
Sailor Venus shouts.
Moon Tiara Boomerang!
Sailor Moon shouts, running up, throwing her tiara. Tuxedo La Smoking Bombard! Tuxedo Mask yells, blasting a white light from his hand. The two attacks blast all the Shadowmen off the Sailor Scouts. However, the Shadowmen all form together into one giant Shadowman. Tuxedo Mask draws out his sword. Sailor Moon, we need to use both of our powers for this one, Tuxedo Mask says, as his sword starts to glow gold. Earth's holy light! He shouts and swings his sword down, sending a wave of light flying at the giant. Sailor Moon, finish him! Tuxedo Mask commands. Sailor Moon nods.
Neo Queen Serenity, lend me your power,
she asks as the Heart Moon Rod forms in her hand.
Moon, Spiral, Heart Attack!
Sailor Moon shouts and sends a huge spinning heart right at the giant. As Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask's attack hit the giant Shadowman, one after the other, it screams out in pain and disappears. Tuxedo Mask's right hand burns and glows a green light. "Restore!" he says and thrusts his hands into the air. Anything that was destroyed or broken from the battle is now restored to its original state. Everyone turns back to their normal forms. Around Darian's neck lies the golden crystal in teardrop shape on a golden necklace. Darian looks down at the necklace and smiles. My power is now fully awakened.
Guess we got a Sailor Earth now.
Lita giggles. Yeah, we are not calling me that, Lita, Darian says with a huge smile.
Come on, Darian. It would be so cute.
Serena adds, "No thanks. I think I'll keep Tuxedo Mask." Darian replies and everyone laughs. The Sailor Scouts. Sailor Moon, aka Serena, was played by Rita, or CosplayY637. Amy, aka Sailor Mercury, was played by Sherry Ann. Ray, aka Sailor Mars, was played by Jordan Storm. Lita, aka Sailor Jupiter, was played by Decent Hugs. And Mina, aka Sailor Venus, was played by Melodic Maria 18. The Holy Knights. Darian Shields, aka Tuxedo Mask, was played by yours truly, CosplayDude637. Alex Waters, played by Ty Tiger. Kunzite was played by ACrown39. This podcast is a production of the Three Ranger Bros Studios, in association with Zio to Hero, the podcast. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed that story. Just a reminder that all my fanfictions are just that, fanfictions, and do not mean to infringe on any copyright from the mainstream continuity that it's from. Now, I'd like to take the time to thank my supporters from the Zio to Hero Network. Jim and Billy, the bulk and skull of podcasting, over on the main podcast, Zio to Hero. Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger, on Nerds Through Comics. My Parabatai and dear friend Ty Tiger of Tiger Tales on YouTube. Jacob, aka the Iron Avenger 52 on TikTok and YouTube. Clayton with Neon Lights on YouTube. Ben, the Baker Ranger. Sam, aka XX Rebel Ranger XX. TN_Ranger. And our good friend Tony. I would also like to thank a few friends of the Z2H Network. Casey from Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories, Justin, aka A-Crown, Johnson of Western Strike, Rob, aka Lightning Collector 2021, James, better known as Beauty_Baba Yaga, Justin the Green Spartan Ranger, JP the creator of Power Rangers Digital Beast, and Michael and Nathan of the Power Trip. Everyone I just named, it has been a huge supporter to me and my podcast, and if you can, go give them a follow. It would mean the world to me. Thanks a lot. Until next time, guys. Later days.